What is behind the success of top real estate agents and mortgage lenders? What tactics, strategies, and lessons learned have they used to break through and achieve elite status? Top performing real estate and mortgage lenders from across the country answer these questions and so much more right here on Real Talk with Homes for Heroes. So get ready because we are about to get real. Now, here is your host of Real Talk with Homes for Heroes National Director, Abby Waltz.
Hey there, and thanks for tuning in to episode 62 of Real Talk with Homes for Heroes. This week, I am joined by a husband and wife team who really hit the ground running in the real estate business. As a stay-at-home mom and a full-time sales manager, they both got their licenses with plans of opening their own brokerage as soon as they possibly could just 2 short years later, all with 4 children at home. That's right. Kirk and Amanda Gaskin have certainly learned a lot in a short period of time, but with their hunger for knowledge and unbelievably complementary set of skills, they have definitely succeeded along the journey. On this week's episode, we have a great conversation about how finding a way to differentiate yourself with a unique value proposition very early on in your career can really catapult you quickly and help you continue to succeed over the years. Also, with a sales and training background, Kirk shares a few tips about scripts and letting the silence do the heavy lifting for you with perfectly placed pauses. They'll also give you an insider's look about the systems and tools they're using to expand their lead generation reach and increase their conversion rate. Trust you me, you're not going to want to miss 1 minute of this. So let's get real with Kirk and Amanda Gaskin. Hey everyone, and welcome again to episode 62 of Real Talk with Homes for Heroes, where each week I am joined by a top producing real estate agent or mortgage professional willing to share the secrets behind their success. Thank you so much for joining and welcome. As you can see, I've got some very special guests already with me. We've got Kirk and Amanda Gaskin, who I will introduce in just a minute. For those of you popping into our live virtual audience via Zoom, I just want to go over a couple of quick housekeeping things. Down below in your control panel, there are 2 different sections. There is a chat section. Use that to kind of share your takeaways. Make sure you've got it, not just for all panelists, but for the entire audience. If you've got a few key takeaways and some golden nuggets that they share along the way that you want to share with the rest of the crew. Hi, Rosie. I see you popping in from Texas. There's also a Q&A section. We will have an amazing Q&A at the end of this with our top performing real estate specialists here with us. So if you have questions that pop up along the way, don't be like me and wait till the end and then completely forget what that question was. Just type it in along the way and we will be monitoring it throughout the entire show. So for those of you listening to the recording, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're watching us on YouTube or even on one of your favorite podcast directories so that you can get them each week and don't miss a final show. But let's go ahead and get started because I know you're not here to hear me talk. I know you're here to hear what these guys have to share for sure. So we've got Kirk and Amanda Gaskin out of Crestview, Florida, which is in the Panhandle. They are top affiliates of ours, guys. They are in our 100 Heroes Served Club. Amanda, I know you've actually hit over 100 Heroes Served personally yourself. I don't know if you knew that or not. So welcome, guys. I appreciate you joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate you having us.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and hop into this. Why don't you guys take just a minute or two to tell me a little bit about yourselves and kind of how you got into this crazy real estate business that we're in.
Well, I was a stay-at-home mom before I became an agent, and I was looking for something that would give me good income and the flexibility to still be that stay-at-home mom. And I always thought real estate was fun. I used to watch HGTV all the time. So I was like, sure, why not? Let's give it a try. So I did. I went out and took my license, and the rest is history. It's something I absolutely love. And I still get to be that mom with my kids, go on field trips and do everything that I was doing before. So that's kind of why I got in it.
I basically worked retail management for the last 16 and a half years before doing full-time real estate with Haverty's Furniture. Hired, trained, coached salespeople. That's basically what I did. So they moved me a lot, and I was looking for something that would give me I wouldn't have to move anymore. I think the last time we moved, my oldest just didn't take the move as well. So we wanted something that could lock us in one place. We talked about it. She says it was her that brought up real estate first. I say it was me. But,
we still argue about that to this day. So.
But it was when we both said it, I guess, and we both, yes, that's what we want to do. So I got my license first. Basically, I got my license so that I could hold it for 2 years. I could be a broker.
So, be the broker.
So we wanted our own company, and that's kind of, when I was eligible, I quit my job, went full-time real estate.
Yep, he became licensed in 2015. I was in 16, and then 17, Briar Patch was formed.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty quick progression. How was it? I mean, you learn a lot in your first video.
Very stressful, but very worth it.
Yes, I mean, nobody tells you how to do anything. So I mean, we had to figure a lot out on our own. I mean, everything. I mean, just how to, the sales part I knew, but how do you get the leads? That's something we struggle with from the beginning. As a new agent, we take anything we can get. Yeah. Now that we're further along, Amanda's like, she doesn't take lot deals. I don't take land deals. She's like, I only deal with this and,
Right.
So,
Perfect.
But, one thing I do know, I mean, just talking about, it wasn't long into we started, Amanda heard about Home for Heroes, and that was very early as well.
Yeah, back in April of 17, I think it was, we had been looking for a way to give back to the community since we started real estate. And my lender is actually a Home for Heroes lender. He called me and asked me if I heard about the program. I told him no. He said he just found out about it and he wanted to join, but he needed an agent to join with him. So he talked to us about it, and we immediately signed up in like April of 17.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Where did that stem from for you guys? Do you have a past connection with us, or what made you want to be able to give back to the community?
We've always just wanted to give back to the military. So that's kind of what we were looking for, a way to give back to them. But then when my lender told me about Homes for Heroes and it was the expanded group, I was like, absolutely, we definitely want to give back to the expanded group as well. It's just something we've always wanted to do. We've always felt like we needed to give back to people that do so much for us.
I mean, at the time she heard about it, I was still working a full-time job. She called me, I'm at work, and she said, let me tell you a little bit about the program I just heard about, Home for Heroes. I was like, okay, I'm listening. And she probably in 30 seconds said, Home for Heroes, two key points that got me. They give more back to the heroes than other organizations. Okay, got me. She said they also do military, law. She's reading from the list, law enforcement, medical profession. She's reading the thing. I was like, okay. For me, the wheels were turning. I'm already thinking, yes, this is awesome. And she started, and I said, baby, that's it. I call them back and say, let's join.
We did it that same
day. It was that
day.
quick for us.
Yeah. We didn't have to think about it.
Yeah, there was no thought put into it past. She told me what it did and who it served. And it's like, do it.
Yep.
Wow.
We've been doing it since 2017.
Very cool. And you guys have had that, just a personal note, have had that come full circle from what I've seen. You launched this on Facebook on a release video with your whole family in there. Your son now joining.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, we had the idea, how a lot of the sports, you have them in front of the table and they have like
what school they pick.
Alabama, LSU, Florida, and they grab the hat. So I'm thinking, to me, somebody joining the military, a kid making that decision is bigger than going to what college football team you're gonna play for. Is my thought. Mm-hmm. So I had the idea, and I just jokingly said it to my son, thinking he was like say, "Oh no." He didn't
say no or yes. He just like whatevs.
And I was like, I think that is okay.
So we did it.
I ran with it. I went and bought hats, put little logos on the hat, and we did a little video with he picks the Air Force, the Army, the Navy, or the Marines. So.
He just did it in March, and so we did that video and we shared it. Our cameraman shared it on his Facebook page, YouTube, and then we shared it here with the affiliates.
Yeah. Well, I thought that was such a cool idea. And what a huge, it gets me at the heart just for people, especially for him being so young, to know that he wanted to do that and to pick being a part of the Air Force Reserves right out the bat. I think that's amazing.
The Air Force pilot since he was 12.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive. For sure. Very cool. Well, so you've been with us for quite some time, and we can jump into kind of your Homes for Heroes progression with us. in just a minute, but you just touched on videos, and I know you have been doing videos for quite some time now, but you're getting into doing a new show as well. Tell me a little bit about the story about how you got started in videos, how they're working for you, and now what's your new show that you're going to be launching here shortly?
So the show that we were doing before was just Briar Patch Show, where we just educated anybody that needed education on buying or selling a home, or just normal maintenance around your home. So that's the show we started then, and it was both of us. We would host it, and then we would bring on special guests to talk about certain things like inspections, appraisals, things like that. So that was that show that we were doing ongoing, that we've kind of paused since COVID, but we're actually going to start that back up again this month. But we were looking for another video to do, so we decided to, it's called Keeping It Local in Crestview, and we interview local businesses around here just to get a start for why are they doing what they're doing, how long they've been doing it, any specials, where they located, their hours, things like that. And we sponsor them on the Facebook pages for a whole week. We just got started like a week or two ago. I've done one show, so far.
It's a massive hit already. I know it. I've seen it. It's great. So how are you executing those? Are you using a videographer? Are you using a production team?
So there's this guy here in Crestview. It's called Community Crestview Television. So he basically is like our news reporter for Crestview. And he's the one that does my videos, all my videos. He even does my videos when I do walkthroughs of new construction.
Yeah, he came to us actually.
Yeah, he approached us.
Well, we approached him to do something, a commercial, do something for us, and then he asked us about doing a show, and we're like, sure, we'll do it. And he's like, I asked 3 or 4 other realtors, and they wouldn't do it. It was like, yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah, we did.
And since then, we've just been doing more shows, more with him. He actually made a commercial for Amanda.
Yeah, he made my most recent commercial.
Which we're actually putting it at the movie theater.
Yeah.
So as an ad before the movie starts.
Yep.
And how are they working out for you?
The commercials?
Commercials, yeah. The video stuff too, but both.
The videos are working out really good. Actually, our very first Briar Patch show that we ever did, I got a customer off of it. She's building a house, and then I'm selling her house. Actually, right now we just put it on the market. So they're getting out there. People are starting to recognize my face. They'll stop me and they're like, "Do I know you from somewhere?" I was like, "Possibly." And then we'll just get to talking, and they're like, "That's how I know you." So yeah. It works.
Yeah, some of her shows get, a lot of views.
Lots of views.
A few of them, we don't know why one gets 800 views and then the next one gets 3,500 to 4,000 views.
Yeah.
It's like,
just share it. That's why when I share it to all my pages, I ask lots of people, share it to your page. You never know where it's going to end up landing.
Yeah, definitely. The power of like your sphere of influence and then getting into their spheres as well. I love that.
Absolutely.
Very cool on the videos. Now, Kirk, you had mentioned before that you've got kind of a sales and a sales training background specifically. How has that helped you being the broker owner, and are you using some of the skill sets that you developed then and now, and what's that look like?
Basically when I started, that's my angle. I'll show houses when Amanda gets overflow, but I'm behind the scenes getting leads, developing that for her.
And coaching.
Coaching is big. And before I go to that one, just, I'm sitting there sometimes and she's making calls and she gets a hero lead. And before she would do her normal little routine, hey, this is Amanda with Briar Patch Realty, and I was calling and you either got crickets or clicks sometimes.
Yeah. Got hung on several times.
But just a little tweak, I was like, I'm listening to her. I was like, all right, she doesn't take corrective criticism well sometimes. So I was like, would you mind if I just tell you, won't you try a different approach? And she's like, and I finally got her, just listen. Don't do it, but just listen. I was like, won't you say, hi, this is Amanda. I'm a Home for Heroes real estate specialist. And pause.
Mm-hmm. That's key.
And right there, people have selective hearing. They heard and they've already reached out to Home for Heroes. You need to get that within the first 3 seconds, Home for Heroes.
Yep.
And then as soon as they start talking, say, yeah, I work for Briar Patch Realty. I'm a real estate agent, and this is what I do.
Absolutely.
But I'm Amanda with Briar. I'm Amanda, a Homes for Heroes real estate specialist.
Mm-hmm.
Give them, and in sales, that's a lot of times it's, know when to pause and wait for them to say something. And that's key to just training how to approach, whenever you're making phone calls. And when she does listen, she's like, yeah, it worked.
I also do that too when I leave a voicemail. I say it like the same way too. I don't even mention I'm with Briar Patch when I leave a voicemail. They'll call me back because they'll be like, I do remember signing up for Homes for Heroes. So then they'll call me back.
Mhm.
That's perfect. We might have to get into official training session here in just a couple minutes for sure, because I know people will have other ones, but I'm so with you on let the silence do the heavy lifting for you, and then they'll be able to direct the conversation. So I love that technique and tip for sure. So we'll get into training and coaching and some of your other techniques that you do, especially when it comes to heroes, but you do a lot of training coaching for your agents as well. Is that primarily just you, and what does that look like?
Well, I've actually got some new agents about to start, and this is what I tell them. It's like, one of the people who are not in the same age, but he comes from a gym. He's a trainer. It's like, let me relate it to a way you can see. You have three individuals, and one of the individuals says, I want to get in shape, and I'm going to do it all from home. The next one says, I want to join a gym. The third one says, I want to join a gym and get a trainer. Which one's going to be more successful?
The trainer.
Exactly.
Because I go to the gym now and I haven't gone in a month, so.
But my point is, it's not that the person that stays home and do it themselves can't be successful. It's harder, and it takes that special person. Yep. On average, most people in that situation would get more out of it if they joined the gym and had a trainer and listened to their coach. Yep. When I'm talking to an agent, I'm thinking, okay, you can join an agency, don't matter which one it is, or you can join an agency and go into the office, or you can join an agency, go into the office, and work with somebody and listen to what they have to say and do what they tell you to do. Mm-hmm. You'd be more successful.
Absolutely.
So that's basically, I will work with them, but most people try to do it. Everybody thinks I can just do it myself. But if you'll listen, a coach does work.
Gotta have that support.
It could be a spouse. It could be another agent. You know how you can team up for training. I want to get in better shape, and you have that partner. Mm-hmm. When I'm down, you pick me up. When you're down, I'll pick you. Vice versa. You work with somebody. You got to have somebody that you do that with, and when you do that, you will be more successful. Now that's just the mental aspect of it. Mm-hmm. On the backside, you got to have leads, and that's where I come in. Is I help coach, motivate her is my job. I try to coach her on how to do what she does, and she's good at it. But every once in a while, I can find something that we can tweak. Most of the time, she really is. I mean, most of the time when she gets off the phone, it's like, that was a good phone call. You did really good. But one thing I try to work with them on agents, Amanda, try to meet once a week. I want her to at least develop or come up with 10 places you're going to get leads from, and let's work with those 10 and try to develop those 10 and then build from there. You want more, but you at least want 10, because what worked for you 3 months ago or 6 months ago might not be working in the future. Things change. Other agents find out about what you're doing, and they start doing that. So you always got to be thinking ahead. You can't wait till your leads dry up and then look for more.
And you got to think outside the box too sometimes.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I have a list. I have what I call lead source, and I have a notebook for it. I'll go to that page and we'll go down the list. And I'm looking at one. It's like, we use Zillow. We do Boomtown, CRM. We have drip campaigns. I do an EDDM mailing that I create, print, mail, do it all myself. I started using a mail service, and I found out they can actually print the mailing, mail the mailing cheaper than I can even buy a postage stamp.
Wow.
It's like, okay, that's a no-brainer. You got the job. Mm-hmm. Do Crestview Community TV. That's a lead generating source. I do my own Google ads to bring them to our website. I do Google, I do Bing and Yahoo. Facebook's worked really good for us.
It has recently, yeah.
And then we do events. We have a movie ad. We're about to put a billboard up. So, I mean, some of them directly give you a good ROI, but some of them indirectly just for brand building. You got to know the difference. I think one of the questions further down is, what did you think was going to be awesome but didn't hit the mark type question? Well, I don't look at anything that didn't hit the mark because it got out there. The point was they saw us, it built, the brand, and like she said in the movie ad. Yeah. I don't think we got one direct sell off of it, but people say, I saw you.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a dud doing that movie ad. And like I said, it plays at the local movie theater here in Crestview every time a movie's played. Mm-hmm. So a lot. And I thought I would be getting calls off of it, but I never did. But it it got out there, people recognized it, they saw me, because I'll be at Walmart or at a restaurant or something, and they're like, hey, do I know you? I was like, you probably do, because I have things going all over the place. And then after talking, they're like, that's where I saw you on the movie, you have a movie ad. I was like, absolutely. But I got tired of that movie ad, so I just just created another.
Well, before it was for everybody, and now I was going to drop the movie ad actually, and she's like,
no.
She said, I will do it, and she made a commercial for her, so it's just going to be her doing it now.
That's the new one that I think I've shared on the affiliate page.
Perfect. No, I love that. And you're so right in knowing what the difference in your goals are for your different lead gen sources, if you will, right? Are you wanting them to actually click through and sign up? Or are you wanting them to actually pick up the phone? Or is it really just a branding perspective where they get to know your face? Because you do need to have that sourced out across the board in order to be effective at people recognizing you and coming up to you and saying those things for sure.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's so many things you could do that I do myself. I first started, I paid people to do Google ads for me. And I realized after doing some research, it's not hard. Instead of paying them $500 to spend $300 to get ads and then keep $200, I spend the $500 and then, hey, I get more leads. I keep up with, and I got 4 ads running right now. I mean, I've had them running for forever, but I don't spend much per ad, but I check it maybe every week to 2 weeks. What is the impressions? How much am I paying? How many clicks is it getting? How much am I paying per click? And when it starts to drop, I go in there and I tweak the ad and I'll check it again in a week. If it's doing good, I'll leave it alone. I mean, I can change everything about it that I want to change. Who am I targeting? Where am I targeting? What words do they have to key in to actually be a target for us? And each one of them is different. One's for seller leads, and one of them is, Air Force bases around. I've Googled and found all these Air Force bases, and it's like, all right, that's where I'm targeting. So if somebody in that area keys in, I want to buy looking for a house in Crestview, hey, they became my target because of where they live and what they keyed into Google or Bing or whatever.
So how long did it take you to learn? I know people are scratching their heads. They're like, Google what? How long did it take you to really just take some time and learn the systems and then start tweaking it?
I'm still learning.
Yeah, still learning it.
I just started the Bing ads, and it actually is working better than I expected. I was checking my numbers yesterday, and I was expecting to get, my goal for every one of the agents is get them 2 to 4 leads minimum every week. And what you got to look at, I was like, sometimes it's Mickey Mouse. They key in, that's what they keyed in, who they are. Because our website's lead generating, they come in there to search for houses through our website, and they have to sign up. Well, they don't want us calling us, they key in fake information, but they have to either give a good email address or a phone number if they want to receive homes through searches. So they might be Mickey Mouse, but they also might have a good phone number or a good email. But what you got to keep in mind is this person went on Google and keyed in houses for sale in Crestview. They did that for a reason, so it's not necessarily a bad lead.
Right.
So
you can always convert a bad lead to a good one. Just got to be persistent.
And that's another thing. All right, having a good website that has a good CRM, that has good drip campaigns. I've created probably 15 or 20 drip campaigns for different situations. We just created a new one, and actually created 2 things. I just created a flyer, a handout for Amanda when she gets a hero lead and she's going to show the house for the first time. She has a flyer that tells all about Home for Heroes, and it has a space for her to fill in the address of the home and how much they're going to get for that house. Because what happens is when they walk away, they get bombarded. And the reason we came up with this is we're talking about deals we lost or potential deals we lost. And what we find, and everybody, this is across the board, why do they talk to you today and ghost you tomorrow?
Because they talk to their friends and their families and coworkers.
And everybody's got an agent. And if you don't give them ammunition to go against that and stay with you, they're going to go with their friends and their mother-in-law or their sister or their brother's agent that they used before. So I created the flyer that you can do that and hand to them. They got something in writing that explains it, because there's no way you're going to have time to explain everything about Home for Heroes in 30 seconds.
Right.
The flyer will do that, and they'll read over it because, hey, I'm getting $1,500 if I buy this house.
Right.
The other one I did was a drip campaign. If you don't meet them in person, you just talk to them as a Home for Hero lead or any lead that you identified as a hero. It's a 14-day drip campaign that does 3 texts, 2 emails.
It's an educational.
That's what
campaign.
I call it, hero education. And it basically, the first text just goes out and says, thank you for what you do. And then it talks about a little about Home for Heroes that you might not have mentioned. Talks about the five. One of them talks about the 501. One says specific how much you'll get back and how that works. I forget all of them, but basically it's a text, email, and text.
And it's all coming through my CRM. So my CRM system is doing it for me, but it makes it look like it's all coming from me.
From the person receiving it, it's from her phone number.
Right.
It's from her email address.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know that if they reply, it goes through our system and she gets it on her phone that, hey, they replied.
Absolutely.
So we just started that. And that, I mean, always be looking. If you lost a deal, kick yourself and all that. We do that. But at the same time, what can I do different next time? Learn from it.
Yeah, definitely. If you're okay with it, let's get into the weeds a little bit in this one, because I know people have a lot of questions about how you implement this, what this might look like. So let's go all the way back to when you're setting it up on like an ad component of it. What are your keywords that you're targeting, right? And then is your main goal for impressions or for clicks?
All right, so talking about Google, first of all, I'm trying to get them to my website. So my website is lead generating. It's and a lot of people have the same thing. So it's connected directly with our MLS. So they can go to our website, have an account, and they can search for homes just like you do on Zillow. The advantage is they're on Zillow, they can reach out to any other agent. Mm-hmm. They go to our website, it's there. There's a couple of good things about it. A, they're there, but B, you have to reach out to them right away because people don't understand these systems. They go to our website, then they go to another website, and they go to another website.
They can find different homes on every site.
They don't realize that they're all pulling from the same source. Mm-hmm. So the goal is when they go to our website is call them quick. Mm-hmm. Amanda says, I don't like to call them. They just signed up 30 seconds ago. I said, I don't care, call them.
I don't want to be a stalker. I like call them right
away. But for
away.
everyone that says, no, you call me too quick, you lock 3 down for that. Because you got them and we explained to them our website updates every hour. So new homes are added every hour. It links with the MLS system and updates every hour. And by telling them that, I think, she had one buyer one time. First thing out of their mouth, this was a Zillow buyer.
Yeah.
First thing out of their mouth, Amanda's like, talk to them. It's like, I'm working with like 3 agents. They're looking at these homes, and your response was,
"You're not going to add me to that mix."
It's like, we don't work for free. She didn't hide that fact.
Yeah.
So, but after keep talking to him, says, but let me tell you a little bit about what I do. Mm-hmm. Obviously he's not locked to one person. Couple of things about this buyer. She said, hey, my website does this. He says, that's choice language, pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
He said, sign me up. He said, send me an exclusive buyer's agreement.
I don't get my buyers to sign that because I like to build that relationship with my customers and get to know on a personal level. So you'll stay with me for that reason. He's like, nope, I want to sign an agreement with you. I was like, okay.
So, but I just thought, I was sitting there listening, paused the TV because she was sitting on the sofa, got a Zillow lead. And when she said, well, don't add me to that mix, I'm like, oh God, she didn't just say that.
I didn't say that.
But it worked because she explained, okay, I'm either going to work with you or I'm not. There's not a halfway in between. And then found out he was a hero.
Yeah, both him and his.
So once she explained what she did, our website, I want to work with you.
Yep.
So that was one of the coaching things she did on her own. I didn't picture that one.
I was actually I was in my comfort zone. I was comfy on my couch watching TV, and I didn't want to take that call, but I did. So, and that's just kind of what came out of my mouth, and it works.
Mm-hmm. But the biggest thing is, I guess, get back to your question, the Google ads, I guess was your question, what I do. So first thing you got to understand is how do I get them and where do they come from? Our website, link to the MLS. So somebody's, wherever they're at, say I'm doing Okaloosa County, and they key in a keyword like searching homes for in Crestview. So just the keywords, they give me 9 phrases. You could do more, but the system likes 9. And I'll do homes for sale in Crestview, condos for sale in Fort Walton Beach, condos for sale in Destin, homes for sale in Destin. I mean, so I picked 9 of the ones that I'm trying to keep. Niceville, same thing. And so there's my phrases. So they're in the area that I've selected, the map, and then they key those phrases in, and I pay for the ad. So I think right now, most of the ads I got, I'm paying about $100 a month. So we're talking about $25 a week. When it boils down, I'm paying per click about 40 cents a click.
Our goal is to get them to click, go to our website, look at 2 or 3 houses, and then the system's going to prompt them and say, hey, why don't you sign up for your free account, blah, 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 and then get them to sign up on that and get them to stay there, because there's so much they could do on our website. And it's actually very, very user friendly. So a lot of people stay. We've been seeing a lot of them keep coming back to our website.
On average, I check it usually within the last 24 hours, there's been unique 30 different people on our website, from new to 3 months ago, 6 months ago, they're back searching. And I'm trying to train all my team is when you go in and you check your leads, first thing you look at is recent activity on the site, because they might have been in there 6 months and you might have thought they were a dead lead, but they're back. So I'm trying to get them in the habit of checking it every day, so that they'll know who to talk to, who to call, checking those. And we just added a new service to our website that Boomtown just added. So if anybody out there with Boomtown, I recommend giving it a shot. It's called a concierge service. So every lead that comes in through our system, be Google, Bing, or Yahoo, kicks directly to the concierge service. They call them within hours. I think within the normal business hours, they will call them within like a minute. A live person will call them, so you can enjoy your day. They will only connect them with us if they're ready to talk to an agent.
If they're ready, or they want us to set them up on an e-alert. So
after hours,
they get houses.
After hours, they still can connect with them within 30 seconds or 30 to 60 seconds, but it's usually a text
instead of a phone call.
And I like that, because Amanda doesn't like calling after 10, but a lot of our buyers, they're not in the country. So it might be 3 in the morning here. They're in South Korea. They're not in North Korea, they'd be in trouble. But they'll be in South Korea, Japan, Germany. They could be anywhere, but they're stationed there and they're looking for a house here. Now is the time they're ready to talk. So having that concierge service, they're reaching out to them right now.
Yeah, that's super smart. So Boomtown is who you're using for your website and your lead.
We just converted to them this year. We did it this year. I wanted to do it last year, but we went with someone else. But we converted to Boomtown, I think, in March, and we have been very happy with them. There's so many statistics that support you guys from a conversion type thing. Like 78% of consumers actually pick the first person that they get in contact with.
Exactly. That's it. That's who you reach out. So they reached out, and we might be the 3rd site they're on, but if a live person contacts them, we have a better chance of locking them to us.
Yeah.
And I think one of the most recent leads you just got, you were talking to before you came on the call, second time this happened, he asked her to sign.
He asked me to sign a buyer's agreement. Yeah.
And the reason why is she called and she responded fast. And he's like, I want to sign an exclusive buyer's agreement with you. So she's asking, how do I fill this out?
Yeah, I've only done it twice, so it's not something I do every day.
Oh, I love it. All right, so you get them in, you get them signed up, you get the concierge service that Boomtown provides, so you're reaching out very, very quickly, and then what?
So basically, they work them, they call them, they will continue to call, text, email, stay in touch with them, try to connect with them for a year.
Yeah, for a whole year. But if I go in there and I see some type of communication going on between the 2 of them, and I'm like, you know what, I think this guy's actually a hot buyer, I'm going to take over. So I can pull them out of concierge and then call them and give them a quick highlight of what they were talking about, so they would know that it's me doing all of this. And a lot of times I get them and we're shopping within days.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and then another thing we do is while they're even in the concierge service, we have a drip campaign. As soon as the concierge kicks it to what they call archive, there's a 14-day drip campaign that they get automatically kicked into, that just, in addition to what they're doing, it's reaching out to them 3 or 4 times just to tell them a little bit about us and what we do.
Not harassing them, but just enough to stay in their face.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, very cool. I've got Mario. I'm going to just throw this question in there because it's relevant to right now. He's asking, he says, do you have anything on your website to catch attention to get the clients to meet that 3-click goal?
Is it 3 clicks or I don't know. I mean, I've asked Boomtown, say, hey, can I change this to the 4th house, the 8th house that you viewed? And they come back, it's like, we've done research. The way it's set up is best. So, I mean, I
think it's the 3rd house. I think after they click on 3 houses, they'll get a pop-up
I'm not sure if it's 3 anymore. It might be the 3rd picture. I'm not sure how they do it. I said, okay, that's y'all specialty. I'm going to let y'all run with
so
that.
we just go with it.
But the
works.
website with Boomtown, it really is good because as soon as they go to the website, they start searching. It's very user friendly. So if they're really searching for a house, they're going to want to stay on there. So I mean, they give you their information. I think sometimes we get them double sign up sometimes because they might have given us fake information to begin with and we realize, hey, this is a really good website.
Or they forgot their password or username because they automatically get a password and a username. But if they would just call us back, we could just send them their password again.
But we can go on there at any time and say, hey, there's 3 people live on the site right now searching, or how often they've been. I can tell where they come from, what lead source they came from, if they're in the concierge service type thing. I mean, it's really a good site. So I mean, you just got to work it though. I mean, developing these leads is huge. And I say we do give up on some. I mean, if they point blank say, hey, I'm not in the market at all, I did this for a friend. I mean, there's reasons. But on average, if I'm getting you 2 to 4 a week, I mean, you're going to get anywhere from 8, 4 about 16 or 16 leads a month is what I'm going to get. Most of the time it averages higher than that. It's usually on the high end. So, and I can adjust that at any time. It's like, hey, I actually, when I first started, I had them coming in so fast they couldn't even call them. It's like, where are all these leads coming from?
So we had to dial it down a little bit.
So they're out there. And so I guess my message is don't buy leads from these people that's calling you. I'm going to get you 30 leads. I had one call me recently and I'm listening. I was like, yeah. He said, you need more leads? I said, no, I need more sales.
The leads are easy to get.
That's what I tell him. My leads are easy to get. I was like, I want ready to buy buyers. He's like, don't we all? I was like, yeah, that's what I'm basically, and I explained my system. He's like, oh, okay.
We were already doing what he was trying to charge us for.
Yeah, so they're going to charge you a fee, and it's really not hard to do it. But Seth can probably even walk anybody through it. It's pretty easy to set this up. I mean, I was really shocked how easy it was to start a Google account. Open a Google account for my business, and then just start advertising. Where do you want them to go? A couple other things. I do mailings. I do QR readers. I don't have one with me, but I do a QR reader on my mailing. People say, hey, I want to make sure that lead that I sent the mailing to comes back to me as opposed to just going generically to Home for Heroes. Well, I got a QR reader that will send, because who's really going to sit there and type all that long code in to get them to your URL?
Not me.
Well, the QR reader, as soon as you hold the phone up, boom, it connects and it goes straight to Home for Heroes and it goes straight through their URL. But that's easy. And it's free.
Yep.
I got another one that we do for our website. So Amanda, if she uses her own URL for our website, then if they do sign up, they sign up under her because they came through her. So I have a QR for that as well. So when we send out anything paper-wise, we use the QR readers so that they can just, you don't even have to take a picture of it. To me, it's amazing. As soon as you hit camera and you hold it up, it says you want to connect.
Link pops up.
Link pops up, you hit the button and you're there.
Yep.
That quick. And a lot of the millennials, that's what they like. They want easy. They don't want to sit there and key in anything. They want it to go right there.
Yeah, nobody's ever going to type all that down ever, nor remember it later. No. So make it easy for sure. All right, so you're huge in the lead gen. You coach and train your agents to have 10 to a dozen lead gen sources just to make sure that they're well diverse, kind of like a financial planner, right? You don't want to just put all your money in one basket. What would you say are currently, right now, I'm sure it ebbs and flows, but right now your top 3?
Well, Zillow, because we're premier agents and they send us, those. Our goal is to get away from Zillow. Right now, our fastest growing is our Boomtown CRM. I keep a board of all our pending sales and I keep where did the lead come from. and I have BT for Boomtown, and it's starting to pop up on that list more and more often.
We're starting to convert a lot more Boomtown
Mhm.
leads.
The more we get familiar with the system and we follow up, we put them in the drip campaigns, and that's another thing, utilizing the system and putting them in the drip campaign. So Zillow, Boomtown, what else would I say? Boomtown, some of them go hand in hand because my Google ads, my Bing ads bring them to Boomtown. So that's, where I'm seeing a good return. It's a lot better.
Facebook's been huge.
Sometimes we don't think Facebook is working because we don't get, we do get leads directly, but a lot of times they link directly to our Boomtown because I see over there where the source came from. It's like
Came in from
they
Facebook.
came in from Facebook.
Yeah.
So,
and then our past heroes have been good
referrals.
ones recently, lately.
mm-hmm.
They like to spread the word.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of things we do, we don't do it for the ROI. We love doing the events. They're actually doing a home show this month.
Yeah, we have a home show this month out in Fort Walton that we'll be at for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
In like 2 weeks, I think.
So we're actually going to do our first one this year. By this time, normally we would have done
4 or 5.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll get back on track with that. But we love doing the hero events. We've got a few sales off of it, but again, it's brand building. It gets us out there, talks to people. Sometimes you don't realize where the lead come from. I mean, sometimes they just call us. A friend referred me. Well, it could have been from that event that, we gave it to a friend shared it with somebody else.
Absolutely.
So the more you share, the better. I mean, you just grow it. I always say it's a snowball. I think one of the questions too Amanda had on the list was, what do you think, what was the one thing that you would have told yourself to do differently? I forgot how it worked.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't sit on it. As soon as you join Homes for Heroes, don't sit on it like I did. I sat on it for 6 months before I really started working the program. As soon as you get in it and you get out there, you advertise that on Facebook, you put it on YouTube, you tell everybody you know, get you some flyers made, just get it out there as best as you can. Don't wait 6 months like I did.
And be consistent. I mean, I ain't saying put it on Facebook today and 3 months later put another post about Home for Heroes. It's got to be consistent all the time. I mean, I don't think there's very few things we put on Facebook that's not Home for Hero related. Yeah. Unless it's just personal, something we're doing with the kids or something.
But if you go to my Facebook now, you might not see a whole lot
because we didn't get the ones that really work best for us is when we get a check picture with a hero getting the check. Those work the best. But with COVID, most of the time they wouldn't let us in.
Yeah, title companies weren't letting us in, or the buyers. The military was keeping them where they were, but still letting them go ahead and do their purchase. So they were buying sight unseen and closing. They were being in Korea, and then they closed on a home here. So I couldn't really do pictures there. But I was very huge and still am and will be again on getting my pictures with my heroes and posting those on Facebook and just telling people a little bit about that person so they can relate to them as well.
Yeah, wise to tell the story behind what the picture is representing, for sure. I think that's so smart. And it tugs at those emotional heartstrings too.
Exactly.
Yeah, when I posted the pin, that's what I asked her. I said, you got to tell me about these people, because when I noticed when I do a lot of her posts for her on her business page, it's like I get more views, more likes, more shares on the Facebook when there's a story.
Yeah. When
I could tell who they are, what they did, where they come from, anything like that, as opposed to let's thank this hero.
Yeah.
So.
You never know, it could be your next show, like the story behind the badges or something.
No, I really want to do a testimony show on my Briarpatch Related show. I just want to bring on like 2 or 3 of my past customers and just let them give a testimony on that. So that's actually something that I've been wanting to get done.
I think the guy that does our show mentioned that as well. He thought that would be a really good show.
Yep.
Very cool. Well, I can't wait to see that for sure. Okay, a couple more questions before we hop into Q&A. Just looking back, again, like we talked about in the very beginning, you guys had a very quick start in this industry for sure, having found Homes for Heroes right away as a new agent and then getting your broker's license so quickly. So I'm going to ask each of you a slightly different one, but Kirk, for you, what was kind of an aha moment or one of the biggest things that you learned growing the brokerage and becoming a broker? And then Amanda, I'll ask you that as an agent yourself.
We'll have to learn everything. I mean, again, there's not one thing. I'll tell people that if you get into real estate, there's not one thing that's hard. Every individual step, there's just a lot to it. You have to put a plan together, and I've been developing our plan of what we do over time. And I wished I had my notes today back then. If I did that, I think we would have jump started even faster of what to do. But as far as one aha, I couldn't say that one thing really, to me, the Home for Heroes was the aha as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Just when she said that, I wanted us to be different. If you were to ask somebody in our community, especially other real estate agents, who's the Home for Hero agent in the community? I bet you 90% say, oh, that's Amanda.
Yeah.
So it's working. So I wanted to build a business. And so from the very beginning, Briar Patch Realty has been Home for Heroes. And people relate one and the same. To them, they think Home for Heroes, Briar Patch Realty, they're the ones that do it. And I think that was pretty much
that was the aha moment, because before, when I was working at another brokerage, before we could even open ours, we were the affiliates there, and we had our hands tied. We couldn't really do a whole lot with Homes for Heroes, because they didn't want Homes for Heroes linked to them in any way. So when a big old tiff went down, and we had to quit doing Homes for Heroes there. So I was like, okay, bye. So I left and went with a small brokerage like for 2 or 3 months, because we only had like 2 or 3 months left before we can open our own, and did that. And then when we converted over, we're like, we don't need to be Briar Patch Realty. We need to be Briar Patch Realty involved into Homes for Heroes, just because that's kind of where we've built our plan around Homes for Heroes.
Very cool. Love that the answer's the same for both of you. That's fantastic. Any game changers that you've come across? I know there's never like the magic bullet that's going to skyrocket you to success. It takes hard work, it takes time, it takes consistency, but were there any systems that really helped you crest over a plateau you may have been having and just kind of break through a ceiling? Or
I don't think to me, learning how to do my own ads, Google and Bing, I think will be our game changer, because we've talked about it since we started, and we've gotten a lot of our leads from Zillow, and we want to get away from that. And we go through our leads, we talk about them, will this be it, will this be it, will this be it, and none of them has really stood out and says this is going to give us the kind of volume we need to drop Zillow. And I think Boomtown, the lead generation.
Boomtown will. That one, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been in it a whole lot when we first got it, just because I honestly don't know why. But I've gotten in it a lot recently, and I've been working my leads and doing that, and I've gotten several of them converted. So I honestly think Boomtown is going to be a real hit.
And like I say, Boomtown, you have your system in place. It doesn't have to be Boomtown. It's the behind the scenes for the Boomtown. It's behind
learning that CRM and taking advantage of it.
Learn your CRM, what you can do, make sure it's working for you. But the biggest thing is, how are you getting leads to your system? The Google and the Bing. You want to get the most money for your buck. You want to get the most clicks. You want the most impressions, and just constantly working your system to get you the most leads to it. And to me, that's it. I mean, I say Boomtown, but Boomtown's hers.
Yeah.
You know, I get the lead to Boomtown, but behind the scenes for me, it's advertising to get it from social media. We get them from there. Mailings, because it links directly to our system. Everything we do, it's all got to be consistent. And that's what you got to have a plan for. You got to have a system in place that it all connects and it funnels all your leads to one spot. So they're either funneling to her URL.
And work them all from that CRM, because before, which is something I wish I could have done differently. Before, I would work my Zillow leads through Zillow, and then my Homes for Heroes through Homes for Heroes, and then these over here. Take all your leads you're getting from here, here, and here, and put them all in that one program, and then just work them from there, because you're gonna forget about them. I mean, I got a good memory, but I'm not gonna lie, I forget about a lot of stuff. So pop them in that Boomtown, and it's gonna send you those reminders. Work them all from one location. That way you won't forget that you have someone out there.
Smart. Yes, systematizing is huge for scale, and you're so right, Amanda. Staying consistent and having a consistent consumer experience with your people and just using that one source is so incredibly important, because it does fall through the cracks, especially when you have 4 children.
Yeah, the 5 sometimes.
Yeah, right? Oh man. Well, I love to see you guys working so well together. It's not always the case for husband and wife teams, for sure. Kirk, you said coaching and helping her out with some things. And I'm like, oh, I remember that. Craig and I used to do that all the time too, together when we were doing it. So
Sometimes I'm like, okay, let's do this.
Mhm. It's like, try it. If it don't work, don't do it again. But if it does work, you learn from it.
yeah, I love that. Okay, before I kick it over to Q&A and get into just a couple of quick rapid fire questions, you guys have anything else that you wanted to cover and share?
No, just get out there, be yourself. Don't be fake in front of your customers. Show them who you really are.
I know one thing she's done a few times is she hasn't told them about Home for Heroes until they close. There's a few of her sales. It's like, oh, by the way, you're a hero. You're getting a check.
And I'll dig out that big check, and they're like, what?
Yeah. It don't matter who they are. Tell them up front, because
Yeah.
that's like, how many of our leads did you not tell that if you would have told that you might we could have saved? Because you're losing leads everywhere. It's just you gotta get them. So
You're
tell
part of
them
the
all.
program. Use it.
Mm-hmm. So don't make. And she thought it was kind of cool to be a surprise. I was like, but no, go ahead and tell them up front from the beginning. And that's the reason we put some
To be
education
honest,
in
some of
there.
them I totally forgot because they were like a referral to me, and I was like, oh, they're a referral, they're good. So I just didn't think about telling them, and then it's like closing day. Oh, by the way, I need you to sign this.
Because you're getting money back. And thank you.
Yeah.
So, don't hide it. Do it on all of them. Tell them up front. Because, another thing is, what if you tell them up front and they could have referred people for that 30 to 45 days they're under contract?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So smart. So smart. All right, a couple of quick rapid fire questions. It's going to be like the newlywed game with you two since I've got you two together. But just two. One, again, you both can answer this, but first and foremost, I don't know if you guys are book nerds like I am. So if you're not, you can answer like your favorite podcast. But what's your favorite like go-to book to read?
man, I haven't read it so long, but I just read a lot of stuff. Not one book, just a lot of stuff on marketing and coaching. Who moved my cheese type thing, that kind of stuff. I mean, just motivational. You can never read, people think, I'm not the motivational type. You have to allow yourself to be motivated. I mean, I can bring somebody in here and I can say all the right things to motivate you, but if you're in that, pushing it away, you're not allowing yourself to be motivated. Read the books and allow yourself to get motivated so that you can be successful.
I don't read books because I don't really have a lot of time because I'm running around helping all my customers and for kids and want to do personal things too. So I just let him read them and tells me all the highlights about them.
I do send her articles. So,
he sends me articles.
Like, read this. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's funny. We're going to start calling you Cliff as our Cliff Notes. It'll be perfect.
Hey, I read the How to Buy a House for Dummies 3 times when I first bought my first house, well before real estate, and it helps. So, but I always think back to that when we're helping a first-time home buyer, that how I felt. And so, I mean, we
I wish I would have known then that it wouldn't have cost me anything as the buyer to have that agent.
Yeah, that to me was
Yeah.
huge. That's one thing we try to educate people on, because sometimes you lose your buyer because they
think
never
they have to pay for
yeah,
us.
you never answer that question to them, or you don't think about it. They think, oh man, they're really good. They must be expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, you're the buyer. It's already going to be paid for. It's free. And we've had some people that when we called them back because they ghosted us and we found out that was the reason, they just thought it was.
They were going to do it on their own. I'm like, no, don't do that.
Very cool. I do like Who Moved My Cheese. That's a good one for sure. Okay, and then what's your favorite room in your house?
My favorite room?
Mm-hmm.
Outside.
Outside. It's not even a room. It's our pool outside. But if I had to pick inside, my living room.
Well,
Just
our
because-
patio.
My living room. Because I love my couch. It's so comfy. I just grab my blanket, lay on it, and chill and watch TV. That's my favorite room outside of my pool. Yeah.
I'm still sticking with the pool. We're in Florida. It's nice to have a place to go.
Very nice.
Yeah. You guys just built that too, right? Like a year.
About 5 months ago.
Yeah.
We started it at the beginning of COVID, actually.
Wow. Crazy. I definitely should have done that. All right, we got a couple of questions rolling in. We've only got a few more minutes, guys. One has to do with Boomtown. For your out of pocket for that, your total expenses, are you fluctuating with that, or what does that look like for you guys? Is it pretty consistent?
Well, see, when you do Boomtown, you can pay them to do your lead generation. I don't pay them. So mine is two separate deals. I pay Boomtown about $1,000 or so a month for them to manage my website and for the
CRM.
and have the CRM with all the stuff in that. And then I pay on myself. It can fluctuate however much you want. Now, one thing I do want to point out, and especially if you're out there, I mean, your business is your business, so every market's different, but I'm going to tell you something that's worked for us is consistency. When you're advertising, be consistent. We've actually tend to do better during the off season than we do during the hot season.
Because other agents spike up on their advertising, we keep ours going. But how much are you spending averagely on your Google?
My Google, about $400 a month. I have 4 ads running, about $100 a month is what I pay, and they do well.
Mm-hmm.
So
Nice. And you can attribute, you said probably what, 16 closings for your whole team for that? Or what does that look like per month?
Oh, you talking about how many leads he actually gets through them? About 16 to 20 per month, average.
Well, I'm trying to think like 4 to 4. I think it comes out about 25 is what I'm getting, but I always tell them 2 to 4. I always play it on the safe side. That way it's like, well, I didn't get my, 5 leads. So, and 2, by adding new agents on, I still want them to think you're going to get 2 to 4 is what I'm trying to get.
Per week.
But have to look at it. I mean, I'm getting about.
I get one almost every 2 days. I get one.
I'm getting about 14 leads a week total. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 56 leads.
Yeah.
On average.
And right now they're getting rotated between 3 of us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And your conversion amount for those typically?
I don't keep up with all that.
I got a guy, right?
Yeah, that's that guy.
So basically it's been low. I've been trying to really coach them to use the system. And as they're starting to use the system and do the drip campaigns, and you can't look at your ROI on that because some of them are 6 months out. So you got to build it. We've only been doing it for about 3 months, and we've probably closed, I don't know, each agent's closed at least one.
Yeah, I've closed 2
one
through Boomtown. I have two through Boomtown, 1 shopping, and a listing through Boomtown.
And a couple on the board you got.
And a couple under contract from Boomtown, and I got another one shopping through Boomtown tomorrow. So it works if you work it.
Yeah, and the more they worked it, they're starting to say, yeah.
It's easy.
Yeah. So I do see as we utilize it to its fullest, it's going to be something that's going to start bringing a lot more volume through.
Yeah. And 3 months is such a short time to have a brand new system and then to get user adoption into it. And then you guys know how long it takes to close on the house.
For the last 2.5 months, she's finally got on board to actually let me dive in and do it.
Yeah.
I mean, one of our leads, just out of the blue, they, from Boomtown, it's like, how many times you called? None. How many times you texted? None. She did nothing. They called, I want to look at a house, and then we're under contract.
That's the one that I have her listing to, so I got her as a buyer and a seller.
And it's like, you did nothing. So that's just love. But just think how many would be under there if you'd have worked it for the 2.5 months.
Yep.
Very cool. And how quickly to have those results. That's pretty impressive for sure, especially with that concierge service that you're utilizing now. So
actually just started 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, about 2 or 3 weeks, about 2 weeks is all it's been active. 3 weeks for one of the others. So, and they all like it. Everybody, when I first said concierge, and she didn't like this, but I said, hey, this is what I want to add to the Boomtown site, to your leads. She's like, no, I want to call my leads myself. I was like, but you're not. You're not calling them. That's the problem. But when I present it with the other agents, they're like, yes, do that. And then once I added it, she's like, yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. But do not put them into concierge at midnight because they will get a text message.
Mm-hmm.
Just FYI.
Unless they signed up right then.
lesson learned, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, too funny. All right. We just have one more question I see coming through, and it's kind of for both of you, but Kirk, do you have another coaching tip that you've shared along the way that's kind of a staple for new salespeople?
I must think on that one for a second. I don't know. Ask her a question. I'll think.
On the spot, yeah. Amanda, do you have one that has been your favorite besides, let the silence do the heavy lifting for you, the pauses, and how you say things?
My favorite, like how I approach a customer on the phone.
Yeah, like a technique that you use.
Well, my favorite and the one I've been using mostly now is the one that he was telling me about earlier. I'll just be like, hey, this is Amanda. I'm your Homes for Heroes local realtor, whatever. Let me rephrase that. Hi, I'm Amanda Gaskin. I am your local Homes for Heroes real estate specialist in the area of Panhandle, Florida. I received your information. Are you in the market to purchase or sell a home in the area? And then just kind of sit there for a second, and then they're like, actually, yes, I am. I need to purchase. And then you just kind of start talking to them, breaking that ice, and then it's history from there.
Yeah. Leading with Homes for Heroes really does help take the salesy or the bad reputation that we all have.
I'm Amanda Gaskin with Briar Patch Realty. Click. No, she did not. Just hang up on me. So if you say it the other way, a lot of times they won't just hang up on you because they're like, what's Homes for Heroes? So that's kind of what you want them to think. What is that? So they'll start asking you questions.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's like a coaching thing, but be different. You know, you got to set yourself apart. You got to sell yourself. I mean, that's what we do. I mean, at the end of the day, take Home for Heroes out, take your name off of it. You're a salesperson, and what you got to do is you got to sell to your clients. Why use you? So you got to come up with a game plan, be it for buyers or be it for sellers. Why pick you? And look at it from your standpoint. If you were the one looking, what would set you apart from everybody else? Listing wise, you know, I like to tell people when we go to a listing presentation, there's nobody going to do more ads or promote your home more than we will. And I will show them things that we do to them. And some of them you've heard about, but most people don't do it. I have like a little rider sign that says, text the word look to this number for pictures for this listing.
It'll be our listing from our MLS will be on
or
there.
That, or from our website,
Mm-hmm.
Either way. But either way, as soon as they click that, you know, I'm selling it to the sellers as something that's going to benefit them because a person can sit outside the car, look at pictures of their house right there.
Mm-hmm.
But for us, as soon as they text that, bing on my phone, somebody's sitting outside that house. I got your phone number.
Yep.
So now call them.
Yep.
So it helps us. I know people used to have it back in the day, the talking house. I do that. It's like if the house is big enough, you have a radio station set up inside your house, and they can sit outside, listen to Amanda tell all about the house. Now here's a kicker, Home for Heroes. It's a 3-minute commercial that you're doing and it just cycles.
Yep.
At the end of it, pitch Home for Heroes. Now here's a person that just came to that house with an agent, and they see the sign, turn to this AM radio station, and they turn to it, and here's Amanda on the phone or on your radio station telling you all about this house. And oh, by the way, if you're a hero in one of these categories, you can get a check for $1,500 if you use me as your real estate agent.
Mm-hmm. The only thing I don't put on that reporting is how much that house is, because I want them to call me to get that price.
But again, the whole point of the way I look at it is that's something we do that our competitors don't do. And that's what you got to sell them on, because they're looking for a reason. Some people are going to interview three agents. Why would you pick yourself? What do you do that they don't do? Try to come
and one
up
thing
with
we
something.
sell first too is he goes on to all my listing presentations because that's just his thing. I'm better with the buyer, so he's there and does a listing presentation, and so they get 2 agents for the price of 1. I'm just there for fluff at those listings, just kind of get them to.
Oh, that sure is pretty.
That's so pretty.
Oh, well, it seems like you guys bounce off each other and complement one another quite nicely, for sure. That's nice to have in a partnership, both business and personal. Absolutely. So thank you guys so much for your time today and for sharing your wisdom, your backgrounds, your stories, and just your success strategies with us. I really appreciate it, you too. Awesome. Thank you, everybody else who joined us for Real Talk with Homes for Heroes. I hope to see you guys next Wednesday. Same place, same time. Talk to you later.